Good evening and welcome everyone to Orchard Lake St. Mary's. As tonight, I'm Roy J. Akers, this is Scott Bernstein. We have the two defending state champions in Division 2 and 3 in a tilt on this great red field. What are some things that we might be able to expect?
Well, you're going to expect Catholic League football, which is Rock'em Sock'em football, two great coaches in Paul Verska at De La Salle and George Porritt at Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and then a lot of future college talent on the field. You know, if you've heard of My Blue Heaven, the movie, well, if you're an Orchard Lake St. Mary's fan, it's My Red Heaven behind us. You got the gorgeous red field. And then another kind of side story I think people should look out for is the fact that you got two very deep linebacking cores for both De La Salle and Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Both teams lost captains and both teams lost captains and star linebackers. De La Salle lost Eric Rogers, the senior captain going to Central Michigan, and then Orchard Lake St. Mary's lost P.J. Bauer, but neither team has really lost a step, and that's because of the depth in both their positions. Orchard Lake St. Mary still has Josh Ross, possibly the best linebacker in the whole state, four-star recruit being recruited by a lot of major college programs. Dwayne Chapman is another kid to keep an eye out. He's a junior getting college looks. On the other side of the ball, with Eric Rogers gone, look for Austin Potter to step up and be that star linebacker for De La Salle. He's the heart and soul of that linebacker unit, so just a lot of talent on the field today.
You know, and I was taking a look, I'm kind of bending over for some of the stats and that, but, you know, Orchard Lake St. Mary, they have multiple players that are averaging between 8 and 12 yards a run out there.
Forget about the linebackers. Look at this running back.
Oh, my gosh.
Fleet for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Probably the deepest running back fleet in the entire state. They go 4 or 5 guys deep. And that's without P.J. Bauer, who, in addition to being a star linebacker for St. Mary's, was also just a unbelievable tough fullback. But St. Mary's, you got Justin Myrick, you got Brandon Adams, you got Ryan Johnson. Those are 3 pretty exciting running backs. All 3 will most likely be playing at the college level, and they complement each other. They're shifty, they're strong up between the tackles. You know, it's just it's a pick your poison when you're talking about running backs at St. Mary's.
And taking a look, you know, Orchard Lake, they're 4-0. Warren De La Salle, they're 3-1. And I understand that loss was kind of a fluke loss against Detroit King. I understand.
I don't know if it was a fluke loss, but it was a very, very close loss. They had a field goal that just missed at the last as the seconds ticked off the clock. They lost 12-10 to a very good Detroit King team that literally has over a half dozen kids that are probably going to be playing power conference football at the college level. And they led for most of that game until King took a late lead. The De La Salle tried to rally, and they almost made it. There was a 50-yard field goal that just went short. Easily, De La Salle could be 4-0 right now.
Orchard Lake St. Mary, they're going to be happy if what happens in this football game this evening.
Well, they'll be happy if they get their passing game going against a very good secondary that De La Salle rolls out there with True Wilson and Alan Stritzinger. But St. Mary's has just as many weapons when you're talking about receivers as they do as running backs, or almost just as many weapons. Guys like KJ Hambler and Richie Bowens are both guys getting college looks. Tyler Cochran, who's also a safety, is really sure-handed. Griffin Sheeposh, another safety, very sure-handed as a receiver. And then Brandon Tabone, I call him T-Bone. He is grade A Chuck when you're talking about behind center, and he can just tear up defenses. He's got a lot of moxie, a lot of composure. This is his 3rd year starting, or started a little bit as a sophomore. Started all last year, led him to a state title. This year he's off and running again.
Fans, I think he knows a little bit. I have to go with that. Now, also, how about Warren De La Salle? This has been a great night for the Pilots of what happens.
Well, I think that Alan Stritzinger, their college recruited running back, defensive back, who really had a huge year last year as a sophomore leading De La Salle to the state championship. He was banged up a little last week, so his health was a little 50-50. I think that, we'll see when the game starts. If he's more than 50-50, if he's more like an 80-90, I think De La Salle is going to be really pressing Orchard Lake St. Mary's with the running back combo of Stritzinger and Wilson, another defensive backfield star. But if Stritzinger is less than 50-50, it might be difficult for De La Salle to run the football.
And with that, we are going to be right back, and we're going to have our opening kickoff, Star Spangled Banner, and a whole lot more. It's coming up as you are watching the best in local high school sports on Media Network of Waterloo.
All right, this is the play that we're going to run. Alex, this is what I need you to do. You're going to inbounce the ball.
Hey, you okay? That was a pretty hard foul.
I think you might have a concussion.
Do you remember anything?
If you passed out, we need to get you looked at by a doctor.
If you don't feel right, you gotta tell somebody.
I'm your mother. You mean too much to me to take a chance like this.
It's okay. Don't worry. We've got your back.
Let's go. The ball's coming to you. Ready to get back in there?
A concussion is a serious brain injury. Know how to recognize concussion symptoms, report a concussion to your coach and parents, and take time to rest. Safe Kids is helping to educate students about concussion safety. Make the right choice. Join the team and pledge to keep concussions on the sideline.
We are just moments away from the start of our football game. Both these squads have excellent records. Orchard Lake St. Mary's, the Eagles, they are 4-0 and they are coached by George Port. For Warren De La Salle, they are 3-1. And you heard moments ago during our pregame that they had a narrow loss by a long field goal that just missed the uprights. They led most of that contest, but these are the leading teams. They are the defending champions of Division 2 and 3.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't map it out much better. To game like this, two defending state champions from the same league, one from Division 2, one from Division 3, and frankly, that Division 3 team, Orchard Lake St. Mary's, could easily be playing up in Division 1 and contending for state titles. Right now, there's a lot of people, including myself, that believe Orchard Lake St. Mary's out of Division 3 is the best overall team in the state in 2015.
Well, and the Oakland Press, they're number 1 overall,
Yep.
and the Free Press and News, depending, state champs, depending who you talk to,
State champs has
Mark 7.
Yeah, Tom Markowski at State champs has them number 1.
Well, for them, yeah, there was one of the networks that had them a little
I know
lower,
that I think Mick McCabe at the Free Press has them like maybe 5 or 6, and I'm not sure where the News has them.
Yeah.
Frankly, I think Mick has them a little low.
All right. Well, with that, you see lining up from our left to our right is Orchard Lake St. Mary. They're in their traditional red and black uniforms. The Pilots, they're in their whites with the gold and blue trim. Orchard Lake St. Mary, they will be kicking off in this football game. We still have fans settling down. We're actually in the stands.
Yeah.
I feel like we're in Fox Sports Detroit when they have Kirk Gibson go in the stands once or twice a year.
We're amongst the purple people eaters, the deep purple De La Salle Pilot, the pride of the Pilots here in the grandstand with the Pilot fans.
Yeah, and they are keeping us honest tonight to make sure that all our comments are sanitized with a little bit of Pilot blue.
Nothing but class from the Catholic, though. But on a serious note, these are class programs that put out class kids that are not just great athletes, but great human beings. That's been my experience covering, for as a general rule, been covering the Catholic League for the last 10 years.
And so with that, the kickoff is off by Orchard Lake St. Mary and John Kusinski, and it's a deep one. It'll hit the end zone. It'll go all the way through. It's a touchback. And doing it the long way will be the Pilots, and they're going to have the wind in their face, and it's actually a pretty good gust tonight, Scott. Is that going to affect anybody in the passing game, yay or nay?
It might affect De La Salle a little bit more than it affects St. Mary's. St. Mary's has a more polished quarterback. Now, De La Salle and Brandon Tabone, but De La Salle is a very steady senior that's starting his first year starting under center, and not as polished in terms of statistics as Tabone, but.
All right, split out to the near side. There are a pair of players, including number 11, Tyler Cochran. He's a captain. Josh Wilkes, a quarterback, and this time the handoff is going to go off tackle. It'll go between Evans and Bresco, and it'll be a short game.
Guess who on the tackle? Josh Ross, just a beast of a middle linebacker, just always finding his way around the football.
And the funny thing is, you took a look, Josh Ross, this year, I'm looking at some of I thought I had some tackle statistics. I guess I don't. But I know he has over 30 tackles.
I think he's close
to
50 right now.
Is it close to 50?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't report in the Oakland Press,
Yeah.
so I had to go by Lenny Kay, who gave me the stats. And it's going to be a rollout, and it's going to go into the right flat. It's going to be a pass over the middle. It's complete for first down change to Cochran. And Cochran will have the big first down, the first of the game, as that time he split the defensive backs.
Nice catch by Miles Charlie, who showed a little bit of that sure-handedness last year in the state tournament.
So Charlie makes his first catch for approximately 13 yards. These are all unofficial. You know who has the official stats? The man sitting to my right, Scott Bernstein. He's got a microphone in one hand and 3 ink pens working the others. He's writing a story, doing stats, and you're probably tweeting because I know the Oakland Press likes the multitaskers.
Josh Wilk looked good on that pass.
Well, with that, we have single coverage played on the near side, a man out of the shotgun, pass out of the flat. It's going to go right over the middle. It's going to be a quick hitter. It'll be complete, and that time it looked like the catch was by Miles Charlie again, and Miles Charlie is going to make it about a 4-yard gain. It's going to make it 2nd down and 6. Well-designed pass once again.
Yeah, look for that connection to be looked at, or look for that connection to come up frequently today in this game. Charlie from Josh Wilk.
Working out of the near hash marks, you see the Warren D. LaSalle Pilots, 2 split out to the near side, running backs on either side. This time the quarterback on the keeper is Josh Wilk. He's going to pick up valuable yardage, perhaps a 5-yard gain. In on the stop for Orchard Lake St. Mary.
Dwayne Chapman.
That's right, Dwayne Chapman. Dog.
The dog, Dwayne Chapman. He's our Metro Detroit's own version of the dog, and one of these kids that again came on strong in the state tournament last year and started to
check his chains at the door. So
starting to get a lot of college looks right now.
Yeah, there
Only
you
a
have
junior.
It. 3rd down and a very short one. We've had it, when I say we're talking about Warren D. LaSalle since the opening kickoff. We have 2 minutes played in this opening quarter. It's going to be a handoff straight up the middle. It's going to be 1st down yardage. Pushing for Moore as the ball carrier. Try to take a look at him. Do you see who it is?
That was Stritt.
It looked like the running back
True Wilson. I think that was True Wilson.
I believe you're right. True Wilson for about 5, and that's the 2nd first down of the game for the visitors. Orchard Lake St. Mary, they're playing with a 3-4-man front. Their defensive backs are Glanton, Sheepish, Cochran, and Dabney. The linebackers are Dog Chapman, Pearson, Ross, and Bashir. The linemen will get for you in just a moment. Out of the shotgun is a quarterback, Wilk. Wilk on the wraparound handoff. There's a flag on the field. You see this play break up, Scott, as it looks like we have a legal motion or too many men at the line.
People got a little antsy there, I think.
Little jump.
I thought it was a jump. Let's see what the officials say.
And the officials will pick it up, and they will march it off. You see the referee on your media network screen. What a beautiful, beautiful, I can say beautiful about 12 more times.
Gorgeous day.
Yeah, I mean, this whole week.
We've had good weather for football these first 5 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some weeks where you're wearing a coat literally the first week of September. This year, last week, I was in swim shorts.
The football gods are shining brightly on Metro Detroit.
All right, well, let's knock on plastic or whatever they accept these days. Out of the shotgun is Wilk. Wilk is going to roll out to his right side, looking for one player. He's going to tuck it in. He's going to run it. Skips past one Orchard Lake man and gets out to the 47-yard line. That time the shoestring tackle made by Patrick Henry.
I thought it was Ralph Holly, 56.
Well, he's in there as well, but Henry definitely got his hand on the shoe, and that's going to bring up very close. I think it's going to be measurable yardage, but by my estimation, looking at what we got, I think he's got it, but I think they're going to bring out the chains. We'll see.
That was Henry and Ralph Holly on the tackle.
All right, so now we're both right. Both our egos get sued.
But hard to tell with all the red turf and the red uniforms.
Oh,
kind of blend.
I love it. I love it. I love it. We've had camouflage home numbers the last 2 weeks. You talk about tough. 2 wide receivers split out to the near side. Rolling to that side is going to be the quarterback, Wilk. Wilk has a man that goes through the outstretched arms of his intended target, Robert Zurowski. That time playing the Velcro coverage was Kofi Bashir.
Bashir was coming out of the linebacker spot and covering the pass.
And, you talk about that talent. And you see it that time, coming out of a linebacker spot, catching up to a wide receiver from behind diagonally. That is not the easiest play to make.
A lot of speed in that linebacker core.
And
Dwayne Chapman, Bashir, and Josh Ross.
And with that, that's going to make it 4th down, and the Pilots are going to be punting, and their man going back to punt for them.
Receiving is KJ Hamler, just pure electricity every time he touches the football.
And True Wilson will be doing the honors, it appears. And no, it won't be. It's number 34, Trenton Plawinski. And this time everybody's going to walk away from it as that football takes a Pilot hop, and they're going to gather at it at about the, I guess you call it the 25-yard line. In Orchard Lake, they'll be starting with field position. It's not so great themselves.
Yeah, well, they obviously De La Salle did not want to give KJ Hamler returnable football there.
No.
They're not going to. I would guess it's going to be slim pickings for Hamler getting returnable footballs because he gets a little bit of daylight. He is gone to the house.
And that's one thing about Orchard Lake St. Mary. They have so many great kids. I mean, even kids that go under the radar, like Jonas Gray, makes a cover of Sports Illustrated last fall for that one great game. And so Orchard Lake St. Mary, they're going to run the ball. It looks like between the center and the guard. They're going to pick up a couple, that time on the carry. It's going to be Justin Myrick.
Myrick's one of their three-headed monster, along with Brandon Adams and Ryan Johnson.
And Brian DeBone gets in there. I mean,
Brandon
the quarterback, you know.
Brandon DeBone, he can run it. He's not just a pass-first quarterback. You give him a little daylight, he's going to beat you with his feet too.
And so Orchard Lake St. Mary, they're going to be playing. It looks like out of the pro set, they have a man split near, man split far. They got the quarterback out looking for him out in the flat. Pass is going to be complete with a nice juke move by Ryan Johnson. But that time he's not fooled, as that time he got some big help by D. LaSalle's number 69, Thomas Evans, and that's going to bring up a third down at about 13.
Yep, it's going to be 3rd and long. We're going to have to see how St. Mary's responds to this first set of downs where they're kind of backed up a little bit.
We have played our first 5 minutes, 5 seconds of quarter number 1. The Pilots had 2 first downs on their opening drive. Orchard Lake St. Mary, they're still looking for their first moving of the chains as they're split out to the near side. They have 3 wideouts, 2 to the near with a slot back right, and we have a timeout called on the field. And the officials, I'm not sure who they gave the indication to. I thought it was Orchard Lake, but I'm not really sure.
I don't know, maybe De La Salle didn't like what they were seeing on their
De La
defensive
Salle,
setup.
Yeah, and that's what I like. You got fans turning around, and you know what? I love it when fans know their football. There's nothing worse than when you see the fans come out to the game and football, you bet. And that you will not find that.
And
not
in the Catholic League.
Not in the Catholic League, no.
Not in the Catholic League at all, man.
And you know, it's like what I was telling people back at Media Network. I said, this is not your, Uncle Elmer's football team. They don't have cowbells out here and hope to play. These kids here can play. All you got to do is walk through the Hall of Champions throughout this great hall that they have here. Everybody has won multiple state titles.
So many great alumni. I mean, guys like that, were around in my era. David Bowens, Diallo Johnson, Maurice Seawright.
And for my generation, the Pachoric brothers, even before me, actually. And they got, George Port, I'll tell you this story in just a moment, but you had 3 players split out over to the far side, and this time you have the quarterback, Tabone, looking for him. Tabone looks over the flat, and the pass is complete to a skidding Griffin Shepish. And Shepish, that time, on his tailbone, hauls it in.
It's going to be short, though, I believe.
Yeah, he sure will. But I can't see the players right now, but they actually took. Scott, you walked past this, and they have players, all their plaques, all their teams, all around the building of all the pro teams that they're on. And so nothing against Kettering and Mott. We love you, but I mean, you've got 3 guys in 50 years. These guys got 3 guys every year.
Yeah, it's a different level.
And this time you got the punt up in the air, and it's going to be fielded by, it's going to be a skidding football. It's going to skip past the punt returner. Walking away from it is True Wilson, and that ball's going to skid out inside the 10-yard line. And Orchard Lake St. Mary must really, I think they said they're Hail Marys before the start of this football game.
A nice bounce for St. Mary's. Just backtracking there a second ago, Griffin Sheeposh with that catch. Not only is an outstanding receiver, an outstanding secondary, also an all-state baseball player that led St. Mary's to the state championship last year. So he won 2 state titles last year, one in football, one in baseball.
Yeah, and we are looking forward, Media Network is, to doing a couple of baseball games from that beautiful ball field just about 300 yards down the street.
I love multi-sport athletes. In this era of specialization,
I like the old style guys.
Yeah, I love the guys that play multiple sports, 2 sports, 3 sports.
Yeah, and I can understand you might take a winter off to recover, maybe if that basketball's not your game or something like that. But most of these players at Orchard Lake seem to play more than that. And it's going to be a handoff on a sprint draw. This time on the carry, it's going to be number 58, Joey Hallman, who this time runs behind Bresco and Hallman for a couple.
Yeah, and I think Josh Ross was in on that tackle, as well as Ralph Holly.
And we've already called Ross's name twice tonight, Scott, as he's already in there quite a bit. We told you about who the linebackers and defensive backs were. Scott, at the defensive lineman, you have Morgan Matoyer, John McCarthy, and Ralph Holly on this 3-4 defense. As right now, we have a slot back right on the right-hand side. It's going to be a cutback move, and this time it's going to be to True Wilson, and he might take it to the house. He's going to have a cutback. He was sideline hemmed in, and he had to cut back to the middle of the field, and that time it allowed Josh Russ to make that, I would call it, a drive-saving tackle as Wilson, boy, oh boy, when he runs with the football, sparks fly.
Yeah, and he's really picking up the slack. It looks like Alan Strissinger is a little banged up on the sidelines. We haven't seen him carry any footballs, but when you get runs like that from True Wilson, I mean, that's all you need.
And this kid, his first step is like my fifth. I mean, he really gets into it. It's going to be a wraparound handoff, escaping one guy, maybe a second. Orchard Lake is going to catch the ball carrier, tackling from behind. Getting up from that play, it looks like it's number 29. Is it Vinny Pallone?
Yeah, with John.
Or no, Austin Potter. Or is it Austin
Potter, I believe. And then John Pearson, the linebacker for St. Mary's on the tackle.
There you go. And so with that, that's going to be a 12-yard carry, and it's going to be another first down. It's the fourth first down of this contest already for the Pilots.
So Austin Power is he's the Thunder, and True Wilson's the Lightning.
And with that, they're hoping to create a big storm on a clear night, and it's going to be a handoff to go outside, get in the corner, but not the full corner is the running back for the Pilots. Is getting up late once again. It is number 29 that's getting up. It's Vinny Pallone. And the fans concur. I'm hearing Vinny, Vinny. So with that, working up the near hash marks of the Pilots, and it doesn't seem to bother them. They'll go on the corner on the short side of the field. They have no fear.
I love to see guys like Vinny Pallone. Maybe we can call him Vince the Prince, and that was a princely effort coming in and giving True Wilson a breather.
And so with that, once again, it's going to be the handoff, trying to pick his way outside, picking up some valuable yardage around the corner. Once again, it's going to be True Wilson. Wilson back in.
And
Wilson's going to pick up about 7.
And Pearson with the tackle again on that, John Pearson.
And Pearson's been in on a couple stops for Orchard Lake St. Mary this evening.
Junior linebacker filling in for P.J. Bauer, who's out for the year. The senior captain for St. Mary's out with a torn ACL, out since game 3.
We have no score at Orchard Lake St. Mary. Our clock is stopped temporarily on the field following that first down with 3:49 to go in period number 1. For Orchard Lake St. Mary, they have 8 men up on the front, and a man moves, and it's the first penalty of the game, and this one will go against Orchard Lake St. Mary.
On that last flag, De La Salle was getting a little jumpy. On this one, it looks like St. Mary's a little antsy.
We have had very few flags called. And I'm kind of keeping stats as I'm going along. We don't have the benefit of having other people flash stats on our computer. We write it with our own ink pens, and we hope the ink pens work. We really thank Orchard Lake St. Mary for letting us come in tonight. George Port and the rest of his crew, they've been nothing short of hospitable to us, and we are so happy to be here. And this time, throwing the ball on a fly pattern deep down in the corner. Pass is going to be hauled in. And it's going to be Brandon Tabone. And Tabone, he caught that ball.
He caught it, but he was out of bounds.
He was out of bounds. I was wondering why yep, he had a step on his man, but he simply ran out of real estate.
Just maybe about a half an inch long on that pass by Josh Wilk. But I liked the way he threw that ball. That was a nice ball.
Did you see the spiral?
Yeah, it was a nice ball for a first-year starter as a senior. And one thing you got to say about Josh Wilk, you talk to his coaches, you talk to teammates, very, very smart. He's got over a 4-point GPA and is a natural leader.
And he probably threw that ball 50 yards in the air, throwing it diagonal across the field. It really was. Josh Wilk up over center. They're looking over at the coaching staff as their head coach. I'm taking a look for De La Salle.
Paul Verska?
Yeah. Coach Paul Verska. Verska, very nice before the game, giving us all the information we need. On that short running play that just occurred.
Paul Verska, one of the most passionate coaches you can find. There's so much energy, so much passion for the game of football and for his kids. I was really, really happy to see him get that monkey off his back last year and get that first state championship.
The Pilots have been in and out of it over the years. They've had great teams, great runs, and they had a few times where they took a back seat, but now
they closed the deal last year.
Well, with that, it's going to make it 3rd down and 8. Warren De La Salle, they're going to work out of the shotgun. Wilk with it. Wilk's rolling out. We're looking for a man. Looking to buy time. Going to keep it. Has it up to 40, the 30. He's got first down yardage. And this time we'll drive one Orchard Lake player out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. As that time, Dwayne Dog Chapman could not bring him down. He had him too high. That time around the numbers instead of the waist around the legs.
You can't give Josh Wilk that kind of time to throw the football if you're Orchard Lake St. Mary's. He's going to beat you with his feet if he doesn't have it downfield.
And he was looking. He looked off two different players that time. His intended target was covered. His second intended target was covered. He just tucked it in and went for it, had a great cutback, and there you go.
He's a dual threat. I mean, this is just like last year with Joey Garbarino, first-year starter. Josh Wilk is starting to show some of that
Miles
same moxie.
Charlie has single coverage on the other side. This time it's going to be True Wilson. Wilson with another handoff. He's going to go from the 25 to the 22. It's going to be a short gain. Clock continues to roll. We have no score at Orchard Lake St. Mary with 2:34 to go in this quarter. Is in on the stop a couple of players. I couldn't tell who it was. I wasn't sure if it was Morgan Matoyer or someone else.
Matoyer was on it. Chapman was in on it, and Ross might have been on it too.
And this game is went as advertised. These are two heavyweights. They're slugging each other. They're landing some blows, but they're in great shape, and they're taking them very, very well. And with it, split out, we have one receiver over to the far side, one to the near. We have a pro set with it looks like a slot back left and right. And this time it's going to be a throw and a run. And this time it's on the keeper. It's Wilk, and Wilk has the first shot. That was a design play all the way.
Yeah.
He simply faked it. I was trying to say that he was trying to keep it instead of throw the ball. There was no chance anybody was going to get it but him. And they blew a big hole as Bresco, Hallman, and Regona were all there.
Yeah, that was one of those kind of now you see me, now you don't plays, making it look like one thing, going the other direction, and Josh Wilk orchestrated it perfectly.
I believe that's the 6th first down, if I'm not mistaken. It might even be the 7th. Once again, I'm not the official stat keeper. I'm keeping them as well as we can. Pilots have the football, 1st and 10. They have it at the 15-yard line, but officials will blow the flags, and this play will come back. It looks like the defense have a flag against them, and it will go for the full 5. No half the distance call, as the officials will bring it in. 1st and 5 at the 10.5. And once again, the Pilots do not have to score. All they got to do is get to like the 5-yard line. They're at the 10. They're going to bring that play in. Orchard Lake St. Mary, their defense, if we were keeping track of time of possession, Scott, they've kept Orchard Lake on the field for most of quarter number 1. As our clock spins toward the end of this quarter with 1:17 to go. This time the quarterback
what a great tackle.
And Wilk actually was, as our clock spins toward the end of this quarter with 1:17 to go. This time the quarterback
what a great tackle.
And Wilk actually was
some of the starters.
And Dwayne Chapman also in on the stop as well for Orchard Lake St. Mary. And so with that, it's going to make it 2nd down and 5. We're down to about 50 seconds to go in period number 1. We want to thank everybody for coming out, all our Specs Howard people. We want to thank all our Waterford people, of course, our Waterford Media Network staff members, and just a lot of people. Even my daughter's in the action. I forced her to. And you got to promise your teenage kid something as this pass is thrown out of the flat and nearly picked off. I'm surprised there wasn't a hold call. Yeah, the defense.
Sherman Dabney should have grabbed that.
Well, the problem was that defensive back, Sherman Dabney, was being held as he went to get that football. That's why he didn't have it. He stretched his arm out. The Warren player actually had his hand on him, and so he got away with that one, but who knows if he'd have hauled it in anyway. So with 30 seconds to go in this opening quarter, clock momentarily is stopped with it being a 3rd down and 9. That was a dangerous pass.
Yep.
Neither team has scored, but Warren simply has been getting all the body blows in this contest.
Yeah, De La Salle's controlled play for most of this first quarter, and Sherman Dabney from Orchard Lake St. Mary is another one of these brother legacies. His brother Josh Dabney was a former star.
And with that, we will have a timeout called on our field, and with that timeout, we're going to take one as well. As our game score, we're knotted at the double bagels. We're moving back to the final 30 seconds. That happens next.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Hello, I'm Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard.
And I'm former Detroit Red Wing Joe Koster.
We'd like to remind you to practice safe boating by knowing the laws regarding water safety.
Please make sure you have the necessary safety equipment on board and be sure all of your equipment is working properly before leaving the dock.
And the probability of being involved in a boating accident nearly doubles when alcohol is involved. Always check local weather conditions, and if you notice darkening clouds, play it safe. Get off the water. Have a safe, enjoyable summer on the lake.
And we're back as Warren de La Salle are going to line up from our right to our left off the far hash marks. Our game score is at 0. Wilk is looking for a target. Wilk might have the gap close, but he gets a block. He's going to try to take it. He's probably going to take a knee after he gets a first down. And that time a nice head-shoulder tackle was made by Orchard Lake St. Mary. It looked like Sherman Dabney again.
Yeah, that's just excellent protection by Orchard Lake St. Mary's, just giving Josh Wilk all the time he needs to do the damage he needs to do.
And with that, he just kind of tucked in. It was almost like a design play. He didn't see something right away. It went right for it.
I'm watching this quarterback, and I know that he's not.
I think that will be our final play of the opening quarter, as both sides are looking to switch ends, and both sides are already walking down. We just took a timeout. We're going to take another one as we're going to have our second quarter play. That happens in just a few moments as you are watching Catholic League action on Media Network 1.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe, and it builds character.
There's no doubt that participation in extracurricular activities help teach lessons you can't always learn in the classroom. Hard work, teamwork, ethics, integrity, respect. And we think football does that very well.
It's safe because the rules.
High school rules started taking the head out of the game 40 years ago and are constantly changing to keep safety at the forefront.
The coaching.
School coaches are, above all else, teachers. We bring to the game an educational perspective.
And the equipment are better than ever before.
Game equipment has evolved over the years to enhance player safety. And in high school football, we work hard to ensure that it's properly fitted.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
The statistics don't lie. Over the years, the most serious injuries are greatly down. And we do a better job than ever before being aware about injuries during games and about young persons return to play when an injury is suspected.
It's safe and it builds.
Strong schools and communities.
There's nothing like a football Friday night, where everything that's good about schools and sports is on display.
Lifetime memories and friendships.
Great relationships are built through sports, not just on the field, but on the bus rides and all other team activities.
And tomorrow's community leaders.
So many leaders played high school sports and gained the skills that have made them outstanding adults.
And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
We're back, as it's now going to be a key first and goal from the 3. True Wilson's going to pop for over a couple of players, as that time he's going to run behind great big Joe Ragona, and it looked like Matthew Becker, and he's going to fall for about 2 yards, and that's going to make it second and goal and very, very short.
Let me just emphasize how impressed I am in this first quarter and 30 seconds with Josh Wilk. He just looked so steady under center and not as heavily hyped as Brandon Tabone, but reminded me a little bit of Joey Garbarino last year, that quarterback that came in for his first year starting and led De La Salle to that state title.
And he doesn't run with the the deer in the headlights look. He looks like he's confident about what he's doing. And this time crossing the goal line, the officials are waiting. They're going up. It's very, very close. As once again, it looked like True Wilson on the carry. And they're saying inches. Third down and inches. I wouldn't worry about it. You got 2 more pops from it. So it's going to make it 3rd down, and it's going to be on the, well, there's no such thing as a 2-inch line, but basically they just got to get the laces over. And so
I
with
give
that,
it to Austin Potter right now, your power back, if I'm De La Salle.
And so Potter, he is a slot back right, standing just to the right of the quarterback Wilk. Everybody's in tight, and this time the offensive linemen are trying to push in the ball carrier. The officials are still trying to find out.
I don't know if he got it. He got it. He got it.
And so with that, our game score is 6-0. As that time it's a big touchdown run. And you see the Warren De La Salle flags, Orchard Lake St. Mary. They know they're in for a battle this evening, and we're hoping that we have it both ways.
What an outstanding drive. 95-yard drive, just methodically going down the field, eating up yardage, keeping Orchard Lake St. Mary's on their toes. Outstanding drive by the De La Salle Pirates.
You couldn't have actually written it any better than what they just had. And so the ball's spotted, the laces are forward, and the kick is good. So our game score, Warren De La Salle, the Pilots lead at 7-0 over Orchard Lake St. Mary. We're going to have the last 10:31.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
Here comes the kickoff, as kicking from our left to our right with a 7-0 lead is the Warren De La Salle Pilots. They punched it in just moments ago, and this time the kickoff is going to go deep, and it looks like Hamler with it, and Hamler's going to take it his own 10, the 20, make it the 30. And when I say 30, you really get over the 25-yard line. That's the one thing. I love this red field, but you can't always see what you see. And
was that
it wasn't Hamler that had the football. Who
was that Hamler? I believe that was Kofi Bashir.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on that. I was looking. I had Hamler.
They kicked away from Hamler.
Yeah, they did. And so with that, it was not him. It was Bashir that got that football. And so Orchard Lake St. Mary, they have their best field position, which isn't saying much. Yeah. They were at the 25, now they're at the 26. So this is only their 3rd drive tonight, as they have a wide receiver near side. Trabone is going to hand it off the middle, and that time picking up valuable yardage of 6, maybe 7. The ball carrier trying to get it, it's going to be number 3, Justin Myrick.
Yeah, Justin Myrick, tough runner, one of those guys that can go around the edge, doesn't mind going in between the tackles either.
So with that, Orchard Lake St. Mary, they're going to play with a full house backfield. One man split out to the near side, this time on the wraparound handoff. Beautiful running effort. It looked like Rashawn Allen gets nice yardage, and it will go for a 1st down. It wasn't him, though. It was Brandon Adams.
Brandon Adams, really the heart and soul of that backfield. Came over here from Clarkston last year and just integral in that state championship run.
And with that, Orchard Lake St. Mary only has, their 2nd 1st down of this entire football game. They're going to work with it at their own 38. And this time the handoff will not get any kind of containment whatsoever. As that time the Pilots, it looks like Titscombe and Dick Dobbery were in there on the stop, as well as others. 2nd down. Orchard Lake St. Mary, they have it off the far hash mark at the far 39-yard line, moving from our right to our left. They trail by 7. They are the number 1 ranked team in the state, according to the Oakland Press, according to many other organizations that Scott Bernstein's brought up. Only number 7 in the Free Press, and right now, Lake St. Mary has the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 43-yard line. The man in motion for them is Ryan Johnson. And the quarterback's going to elude one man, throw it out of the flat, and the ball is picked off. And Warren De La Salle has the first turnover of this football game. It looked like this time the quarterback, Reggie Irby, stepped right out in front of the intended target, gets the pick, and now the Pilots have excellent field position. We are sitting right in the middle of the Warren Pilots fan section tonight, and I'll tell you what, they are certainly the 12th man.
Reggie Irby with that pick? Reggie Irby.
Got the pick. And he gets that. He just stepped right in front of him. He had the Velcro coverage. I think he had one hand in his pocket and the other one saying, "You're just about ready to get school, young man." And
Reggie Irby. Don't call me Kirby. Well, Reggie Irby looked like Dale Rivas on that pick.
He sure was. He was absolutely outstanding. And so the Pilots, 1st and 10 on their own 43. They have a slot back left. They got the quarterback, Tabone. Tabone's rolling out. Got it over the middle. Oh! The ball is dropped. And Miles Charlie had his ESPN highlight film already sent in, and he dropped it.
He was thinking about what he was going to do with that football before he corralled it in. But let me just say again, another pinpoint accuracy, another just great pass by Josh Josh Wilk.
Passes, he's lasered a few, but that one was a touch pass.
That was a nice pass, got him in stride. Man, I'm really impressed with Josh Wilk. Kind of like I said, I keep on making the comparison. Last year, I'd never seen De La Salle, Joey Garbarino, first-year quarterback, wasn't expecting much. You know, first time I see him, I'm like, wow, this kid is like a first-year starter that plays like a third-year starter, and that's what we're seeing from Josh Wilk.
And with that split out over to the near side, we have two players, one over to the far. It's a 3-wide receiver set. This time the handoff's going to go straight up the middle. There's not going to be a whole lot of running room, as this time Orchard Lake St. Mary's big defense goes ahead and makes a stop as McCarthy, Pearson, Ross, and others were all there. Didn't see who got the carry that time. Did you, Scott?
I think it was Pallone, but I'm not positive. I think it was Vinny.
I think you're right. Pallone got no gain. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10. Our clock continues to spin. It's a 7-0 Warren De La Salle lead. Our visitors are in the white and blue. Orchard Lake St. Mary, they're in their red and black, playing on the beautiful red field, one of 2 colored fields in Oakland County. This one in Oxford.
In Oxford.
Yep, and out of the shotgun, rolling out will be Wilk. Wilk has a touch pass. He's got it on the fly, and the man
great pick!
is picked off, or is it? It is picked off for sure.
Oh, my God. KJ Hamler just says, Reggie Irby, anything you can do, I can do better. What a great pick by KJ Hamler.
And he sure did. He just stepped right in front of the intended target that time. And what a play by him. And this time, Orchard Lake St. Mary, they've evened the turnovers. Both squads have turned it over one time in this game. And now,
what a pick.
And that was a beautiful throw, but that was really, that time the receiver was really outflanked by the DB, and he was outflanked by him because he turned around and played the football.
Well, it's interesting, KJ Hamler, one of the best slot receivers maybe in the entire Midwest region of the country. And I call him the best slot receiver in the state of Michigan. He didn't start at cornerback. I think they were a little worried with what Josh Wilk was doing. They put him in at cornerback midway through the first quarter, and looks really good.
And so Orchard Lake Mary has the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line. And quarterback is Saccarinos.
Great tackle.
Go
Great tackle by
that time. In on the stop, it looked like
Colin Tickham.
Yeah, it looked like he was in there. Evans as well. And this time, the quarterback, Brandon Tabone, had no time to throw. His offensive line was beat from the get-go.
Now they're just putting themselves, putting themselves in a little bit of a hole with that sack.
This game has lived up to all the hype, and the loser of this game isn't out of it. This is really an ego game. These teams could meet once again in the Catholic League playoffs, I understand. At the Dome, I don't know.
Wouldn't be surprised.
And with that, Orchard Lake, they're going to have it out of the shotgun. Tabone literally throws it on a give and take, and that time the pass is going to be caught out of the flat. It's going to be underneath. That time the intended target, I think, was Sherman Dabney. Dabney hauls that one in, and it's going to make it 3rd down and a whole bunch. Still a long way to go. 3rd and 13, it appears, on the field.
That was a big sack,
Yeah, that sack a few minutes ago really messed up Orchard Lake St. Mary.
Took the little momentum away from that really huge pick.
And with that, it's 3rd down, 13. Orchard Lake, they'll have split out over to the near side. For them will be George Reed. He'll be joined over in the slot, it looks like, by Ryan Tabone. And there's going to be a timeout called on the field. If that's by Orchard Lake, they're out of them. Because they're going to go over and talk to their coaching staff. Tell you what, we're going to have our final 6:04. That's going to happen in just a few moments. You are watching high school football at Media Network.
Sometimes it comes down to the last second buzzer beater.
Sometimes you don't know if the ball's in or if it's out.
But when it comes down to the final call,
The refs are always there to keep it fair. And every high school athlete needs you to pitch in.
if you want to become a referee,
Just go online to mhsaa.com, click on officials, and register now.
Our game is counting on you.
or more. And so, with it being 3rd down and 13, Orchard Lake, they have a slot back right. They're kind of playing out of the pistol, and this time the quarterback to Bone going downfield. He's going to just kind of throw it.
Oh, it's going to be picked again.
Three different players get their hand on that football. The intended target for Orchard Lake St. Mary was Griffin Shaposh. He was not able to get it, but that ball was tipped before he ever got there.
He's lucky. He's lucky that wasn't intercepted.
Yeah, and a third player almost got it diving for that ball. So literally in ping pong, 3 different players, 2 for Warren and 1 for Orchard Lake St. Mary. With 3 ticks under 6 minutes to play in this opening half, our game score is still 7-0 Warren de La Salle. And easily, I would say, my favorite football game of the year for just intense action with so much at stake, so much drama, so many great players. Chasing the ball, True Wilson. True Wilson is going to make one cut, make another. He's got a convoy. He's in midfield. He's using that awesome class speed he's got inside the 40, down to the 30. He's going to be run out of bounds. As that time, Orchard Lake St. Mary really trying to hem him in, and this young man created something out of nothing.
Let me ask you, what doesn't True Wilson do? He runs the ball. He plays cornerback. He returns kicks. He's got a 4.0 in the classroom. He's being recruited by the military academies to be one of a few good men. What a player. What a person.
Is that all?
Man, True Wilson, he is the truth.
He is tonight. I'll tell you, he is truth, and I think he grants wishes.
Oh my God, yeah. He has been more than impressive so far in this game. I haven't seen him since last year, and really love what I'm seeing in a senior for a senior campaign.
And with that, you see the pilots from our left to our right. They've got it, and they're going to just kind of keep it up the gut. But this time, it's going to be the defensive containment by McCarthy, Holly, Ross, and others. And that time, the push belonged to Orchard Lake.
I believe that was
squads.
I believe Patrick Henry was in on that tackle as well.
All right, and both these squads, Scott, are just, I mean, you just look at the intensity in their play. And the funny thing is, if somebody needs a breather, they got somebody almost
Both teams have depth. Both teams have great fan bases. This is all you want in high school football.
2nd down and 9 on the 27. It's going to be a sweep toss going right side, getting a couple yards, not a whole lot of running room. Was that True Wilson again? I don't think so, but it's a single. No, it's not. It's Austin Potter, who's going to pick up about 4 yards on that play before he's brought down by a couple of players.
Yeah, that was Potter.
And Potter indeed. 4:40, clock continues to run. A 1-touchdown lead for the visitors from Warren de La Salle. Great big Catholic League action. Taking a look at some of the stats, we're going to fill you in on those in a minute. Out of the shotgun is going to be Josh Wilk, and Wilk's going to have that pass batted down. And that time, a beautiful play.
Is that Pearson, I believe?
Yeah, it's number 30. I thought it was Pearson on that stop. Pearson got his big mitts on that
he got his mitts on that ball.
And he just simply took it, and since he couldn't do anything with it, he batted it to the ground, and that's the next best thing. 4th down and 5 for the Pilots. They have the lead, Orchard Lake St. Mary. They are one big play away from tying it. Anything can happen. And right now, I mean, I wouldn't want to go down by 2 scores in this game.
Nope.
But it would only take a turnover and a return of one kind.
40-yard
Who
field
knows
goal
what
right
could
here.
happen with that? Well, the kick is spotted. The kick is up. And the kick
they had lots of room.
Good. And so the Pilots, they're going to go up 10-0. As that time, it's a 2-score game. As it looks like the kicker, I'm trying to take a look. It's number 34 on their squad. And that's going to be Trent Pawinski, I believe. And with that, our game scores 10-0. We're going to be back for 4:04 to go in half number 1. We're going to have it for you in a few moments. And we're back as Warren De La Salle. They have a 10-point lead. It's now a 2-score game. They're getting set to kick off. They have control of the first half, which has been very surprising. Both these teams ranked as the top 10 teams in the state, depending on which poll you go. And this time the kickoff was fielded, but the kick returner he caught the ball and went out of the end zone. Hamler tried to bring it back out, but once that ball's out of bounds, it's too late, baby, now.
Yep. Nice
I would
kick.
have just let it go. That ball might have actually got them a flag upfield, but so Orchard Lake St. Mary, they're going to have the football, 1st and 10 on their own 20.
They got to come up with some offense before this.
Yeah, they got to do something, and they're very capable of, especially with all those running backs.
This explosive offense has been somewhat listless in this first half.
And that's been really amazing to me. But I think Orchard Lake St. Mary, we have not seen their best punch tonight. And this time it's going to be the handoff. Looked like it might have been Justin Myrick for
Isn't that an example, though, of a great defensive effort by De La Salle? I mean, you can't get over how rock'em sock'em this De La Salle team has been in this game.
And they have been popping the helmets tonight.
Kevin Lee with a great tackle there. Just another example of this effort that is being displayed by the Pilots.
We're going to call it 2nd down and 9 after that 1-yard game just moments ago. Orchard Lake St. Mary, they have it at between the hash marks. They have one player split out over to the near side. That looks to be, is it Jack Carroll? Split out also. I'm looking to see if it's Allen. This time the quarterback, Tabone going downfield. He has a target, and if it's inbounds, it's complete. We definitely have a couple of very late flags on the field. I don't think another flag. 3 flags go down.
Well,
so somebody caught something. Yeah. I don't know if he was also hit out of bounds. I'm not really sure. I don't think that the intended target caught that one in bounds. Don't know if it's interference, late hit, or both.
We'll see what this call is.
And our officials are going to tell us about it. Oh.
It's against De La Salle.
It was against De La Salle. It is a catch for Orchard Lake. They've had but just a couple of flags. That's going to be, we're going to march it off as a 15-yard flag against the Pilots. Orchard Lake St. Mary, they'll take it any way they can get it. They will call it as a personal foul, and that'll be at the 36-yard line. And Orchard Lake St. Mary, they need to get anything going. That flag starts their engine, cranks up their motorcycle, they're going to take it. And this time it's going to be a wraparound handoff. Not a lot of running room, skidding between his guard and his tackle.
Brandon Adams.
Yeah, it's Brandon Adams, and Adams is going to get about 4 yards, just depending on the spot.
Yeah, Brandon Adams' mother passed away from cancer on the eve of the state championship last year. They all played for Mama Adams in that state title game. Came away with a 7-0 victory in Coach Port's the school's 5th state.
Orchard Lake St. Mary, they're trying to get something going. This time they're going to pick up another 3 or 4 on that last run. This time it looked like Justin Myrick on the carry. A couple players in on the stop.
Yep.
In there, it might have been Evan Holland, Austin Potter and company. And that's going to make it 3rd down, approximately 3 yards with 2.5 minutes to go in this opening half. It's a 10-0 Pilots lead as they lead the home squad. Both teams are defending state champions in their respective divisions from last year in a very anticipated game. And this time breaking containment, not able to get the edge, is Adams again. And then on the stop.
Josh Wilk was the quarterback coming in on the stop there from the secondary.
And holy smokes, he came in there. 2 players clocked him, and that's going to make it 4th down and 1. And Orchard Lake is acting like they're going to punt the football, but I hear fans saying, watch the fake. I would. The one thing, though, that makes you think this might be a punt by K.J. Hamler is that you don't make it, you are giving a short side of the field to a team that's actually been able to move the ball against you. It's a punt, and it's up. And this time it's going to take a crazy hop. It looked like it went off an Orchard Lake St. Mary player, and at the 30-yard line is where the Pilots will stop.
St. Mary's. I misspoke before. George Port has won 5 state championships for St. Mary's. I believe the program as a whole has won 6. So
and that's just football.
That's just football.
That's just football.
And Port has 1 in basketball and 2 in lacrosse. So he's got 8 state championship rings.
He's won the basketball title.
He's won it once in basketball and twice in lacrosse, 5 times in football. George Port, a man of all seasons here on the sidelines for the St. Mary's Eaglets.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to him. Maybe we'll invite you back. We're going to try to do a 50-yard line interview with him one day this week.
Yep.
And that might be a good conversation to have. As we actually are looking to go to Ford Field for when they play down there. If we can't broadcast the games, at least we'll do like a game day, game center type thing. And so with that, the Pilots with the football. It's going to be a nice cutback on the run. It's going to be a mini hole. That time run by taking a look. It's really hard to see the numbers, but getting up from it is number 3, True Wilson. And so Wilson, that time he didn't see anything left side. He cut back right and picked up what little he could.
Yep. Well, you got True Wilson. He's going to make something out of nothing.
And that time, that nothing will gain him almost 3 yards.
Took a possible 2-yard loss, turned it into a 2-yard gain.
And our clock continues to spin. We have about 52 seconds to go in this opening half. It's a 10-0 game score.
I'm guessing De La Salle's going to be happy going into halftime with a 10-0 lead.
I would think so. If they're not, I don't know if they know what happiness is. They might want to change their fortune cookie distributor. And this time it's another handoff. Looks like they're going to be content to keep it on the ground. And that's going to be another key run. As that time it's going to be a punishing run, and they're just going to go into the half. Was that Austin Potter with that particular carry? And he's going to gain about 5, and with just 22 seconds to go, I think that the Pilots can possibly, they don't even need to snap the football again. They'll go into 24 minutes with a 10-0 lead. They haven't even broke huddle yet, so evidently they have done the calculations, and after 24 minutes of play, the road team, Warren De La Salle, the Division II state champions from last year, they lead the #1 team in Oakland County, Orchard Lake St. Mary's, 10-0. We are going to have second half action for you in just a little bit. I have an interview with Mick McCabe. We're going to get the halftime festivities. For Scott Bernstein, I'm Roy J. Akers. We'll be back with you in just a little bit.
25,000 mornings, give or take, is all we humans get. We spend them on treadmills, we spend them in traffic, and if we get lucky, really lucky, it dawns on us to go spend them in a world where a simple sunrise can still be magic. 25,000 mornings. Make sure some of them are pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
With me is Mick McCabe, longtime prep sports writer for the Detroit Free Press. You've been doing this a long time. And what do you see about this Orchard Lake St. Mary's team? Is it a vintage team that we've seen in the past?
Yeah, it's a lot like a typical Orchard Lake St. Mary's team. They're going to run the ball, but now the scary part is they're throwing a little more than usual. And if that gets going, they'll be unbeatable because their defense is really solid, as usual.
Yeah, both sides of the ball. I mean, they got ball carriers running for 8-10 yards a carry, and if you can go out balanced the way they do, I think Coach Port, is this probably a great opportunity for him to repeat as a state champion or at least get himself in a good position?
Oh, yeah, I think they're definitely the favorite to win a state championship. There's no question they're the favorite in D3.
Now, you covered a lot of great players, over the years. So what is some of the biggest changes you're seeing in high school football, with as far as, recruiting and things like that?
Yeah, college recruiting. Well, the 7-on-7s, idiocy. They think that's the only way they're going to get seen is by playing 7-on-7s, which is ridiculous because really 7-on-7s with these all-star formats, it's a relatively new phenomenon. But
down south, it's very, when I was teaching school.
Yeah, was that in the 1900s or the 1800s when you were teaching? Anyway, but the kids used to get recruited before 7-on-7s. Now they're doing 7-on-7s. They're as soon as the season ends, they play all through the winter, all through the spring, through the summer, and they're getting hurt, and they wonder why. It's just that repetitive stuff. They need a break. They need to play other sports. They need time off.
You know, it kind of makes me wonder, like with baseball, these kids are playing year-round, and all these kids are blowing their arms out, and you wonder if the same thing's happening in football, where specialization may not be so good, and the kid needs to get out and exercise different muscles.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan Spieth, right? You think this guy was a golfer from the moment he grew up, okay? Not only did he golf, but he was a quarterback, he was a point guard, he was a pitcher in baseball. And all the movements he used in baseball and all those other sports, they made him an even more effective golfer. And if this guy's playing 3 sports besides golf, then other kids ought to think about it too.
Yeah, and I enjoyed sports a lot more. I think one of the reasons why I'm a sports fan and read your paper, I remember reading George Puskas. Oh yeah. And Joe Falls and all them, and you know, and they were all big proponents of all that, and I know that you are too, and because you see it on a daily basis covering everything.
Yeah, what was really cool was 2 years ago and last year, George Puskas, one of his grandsons, played for Brother Rice, which was cool for me because in my time as sports editor, George only made one mistake. He hired me. Other than that, he was a great sports editor.
Yeah, I loved him and all those little diamond dandies or whatever he called them.
Yep, dandies, eh? Yep, for sure.
So you can tell I read the paper. I used to deliver the free press, and I did way back in the day when bicycles were cool and I didn't have to worry about being on a milk carton. Right. But what are some of the big surprises you've seen so far in the season, and any predictions that might happen between now and Ford Field?
Well, the thing is, you know, Clarkston got a couple kids hurt early, and they haven't been as good as they had been. Warren Mott beating Dakota, that was a huge upset. But other than that, you know, Muskegon's good, Catholic Central's good, Orchard Lake is really good, King and Cass Tech are really good. Things have gone about the way we expected them.
Final question. I've seen a lot of upside down type things though. Brother Rice 1-3, and some other schools doing that as well that you don't ever expect. Lake Orion, I mean.
Yeah, we knew Brother Rice wasn't going to be that good, and so that's not a surprise. I mean, if you've been paying attention, Lake Orion, you know, they lost some tough games, and they're playing West Bloomfield, and you know they're capable of beating anybody. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
And with that, well, Mick, I want to really thank you for coming out tonight, and good luck. I got to shake the other hand because I got everything in this hand. It's always great reading. I read you quite a bit and hope to do that. And we are going to send you a link of some of that, and if you choose to use it, fine, and if not, well, you can just delete.
It'll be up to my boss, but I'll definitely try and get it in there.
Oh, yeah, no, that sounds great. Thank you so much,
sure,
Mick. Appreciate it. All right. So with that, what we're going to do is we're going to be back with second half action in just a few moments as you are at Orchard Lake St. Mary's and you are watching high school sports at Media Network of Waterford. Well, with me is Peyton Liss from the TV show Jesse. Well, how you doing, Peyton?
Good, how are you?
Doing fantastic. How was your, I heard you took the red eye, and it was really red today.
Yeah, I took the red eye with my mom, and actually I sleep really well on flights, so that was nice. I came straight from filming last night on our new show, Bunked, so.
And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. I can hardly wait to have everybody with that. Peyton, how has being a teen idol changed your life?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. It's weird to think of myself as a teen idol. I don't know. I guess it's changed because whenever I go anywhere where there's teenagers or kids or even parents, anyone who watches Disney, they know who I am, and that's kind of a crazy feeling to know that I'm like a role model for people. It's pretty cool.
Now, what is your favorite role that you played so far?
Oh my gosh. I'd have to say the character who I've grown the closest to is probably Emma, because I played her for 4 years on Jessie, and now I'm playing her again on this new show, Bunked. So I've definitely grown the closest to that character.
Now, what do you think your life's going to be like 5 years from now when Bunked's a major success?
Oh my gosh. Well, I sure hope Bunked is a major success. But in about 5 years, I feel like I'll be doing, Bunked will be probably over, because usually Disney only does like 4 seasons of a show. So hopefully I'll be on to the next project and maybe doing more like movies or another TV show, wherever it takes me.
Now, you're in an acting family. It must be absolutely crazy. What is it like trying to juggle the schedules of you, your twin brother,
yeah,
and the others? What's that like?
Oh, well, I have a little brother who's 10, and then I have a twin brother, Spencer, and my twin brother is also an actor, so there's always a lot going on in our house. My parents are always trying to get us everywhere. I just got my license, so finally I can help a little bit with helping them get around and juggling all of our schedules, but it's always pretty chaotic in our house.
Okay, anything I didn't ask you that you think I should?
No, I think you covered it. Well, I do have a movie called The Outskirts that's coming out in November, and that was cool for me because I got to play something really different. I got to play a mean girl, and her name is Mackenzie, and the movie's sort of Mean Girls meets Revenge of the Nerds, so that was really fun for me.
Well, Peyton, I want to thank you very much for talking to us at the Oakland County Parks and Recreation. It's been awesome, and good luck on your new show, Bunked.
Thank you so much. So great talking to you.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
24 minutes. But let's see about adjustments. Usually great players, great coaches. George Pork can work the pencil.
Fits into that category of great coaches, known for his halftime adjustments. So let's see what he cooks up right now and start the second half.
And our kickoff is just about set. And our second half is just about under play. And here we go as Trenton Plawinski will boot it to about the 10. It will be fielded there, and Orchard Lake St. Mary looks to pop it out. Still on his feet with a cutback. Not a lot of running room for Hamler. And the Eagles, what's that?
The game, Hamler finally got his mitts on the football to return it. Didn't get much daylight.
And so with that, Orchard Lake St. Mary has the ball, 1st and 10. They'll have it on, it looks like about their own 20-yard line. Playing out of the defense, there's a 4-man front by De La Salle. They have 4 defensive backs. And Orchard Lake, they will run their first play, and the wind is blowing stiffly in their face. Wraparound handoff will go up the gut, a lot of running room. First down yardage and more, and a late fumble. Could be the Pilot football. And so with that, it's a huge turnover. And with that, it'll be Orchard Lake giving up the ball. It was a great second effort play. They simply caught that one up, as it looked like on that one. I'm trying to see, it might be Tabone. No, it wasn't Tabone. It could have been Ryan Johnson with a fumble.
That's exactly what, if you're St. Mary's, that's the one thing you could not do was turn it over on your first possession, your first set of snaps, and that's what they did. They just allowed St. Mary's to get a chance to just seize even more momentum than they already have.
And the Pilots, after that turnover, the 3rd on Orchard Lake St. Mary, it's definitely played into the storyline tonight. The handoff is going to go to True, and True will have it for about a short gain anyway. It's going to be a brought down on that tackle by St. Mary's. But I'll tell you, all my notes are just blowing all over. We're actually outside, which is good and bad at the same time, but Dabney made that stop.
Man, again, if you're scripting it the other direction for De La Salle, you couldn't have come up with a better script to roll out there. They got a short field and a chance to go up 17-0.
They have that short field, as Scott just alluded to. It's 2nd down and 9 on the 28, and this time it's going to be a handoff outside.
Charlie.
Yes, Charlie Miles, and Miles has the quarter. Miles has the turn. He's It's going to be knocked out after a touchdown. 16-0 is the score, and the Pilots, they took that play.
Amazing play call by Paul Verska and his staff.
He ran to the outside, he got the corner, and the Eagles couldn't catch up. It's 16-0.
That was just a little jet sweep action to Miles Charlie, the receiver, takes it around the left edge and takes it to pay dirt.
Looked like he got a receiver block that helped spring him along those sidelines, and just an extra point away from a 17-0 lead is Trenton Plawinski will do it. Ball is spotted, it is up, and it is good. Game score 17-0, and third turnover of the game is the elixir for Warren De La Salle. Orchard Lake St. Mary, they need to sharpen their pencils and find a way to get some instant points on the scoreboard. We'll figure that out with you as we come back from this time out.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game and it's safer than ever.
It's safe and it builds character.
There's no doubt that participation in extracurricular activities help teach lessons you can't always learn in the classroom. Hard work, teamwork, ethics, integrity, respect. And we think football does that very well.
It's safe because the rules.
High school rules started taking the head out of the game 40 years ago and are constantly changing to keep safety at the forefront.
The coaching.
School coaches are, above all else, teachers. We bring to the game an educational perspective.
And the equipment are better than ever before.
Game equipment has evolved over the years to enhance player safety. And in high school football, we work hard to ensure that it's properly fitted.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
The statistics don't lie. Over the years, the most serious injuries are greatly down. And we do a better job than ever before being aware about injuries during games and about young persons returning to play when an injury is suspected.
It's safe and it builds.
Strong schools and communities.
There's nothing like a football Friday night, where everything that's good about schools and sports is on display.
Lifetime memories and friendships.
Great relationships are built through sports, not just on the field, but on the bus rides and all other team activities.
And tomorrow's community leaders.
So many leaders played high school sports and gained the skills that have made them outstanding adults.
And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
Warren De La Salle, first play following a fumble, and they have scored a touchdown off that. And Plawinski, using the wind behind his back, will kick that one into the end zone for a touchback. And this has been all Warren De La Salle, very, very surprisingly. I like the promise of that drive that Orchard Lake had. The ball carrier, I believe it was Austin Potter, wasn't it, that coughed that football up, and he did it by just trying to get second effort.
I mean,
the ball was punched out.
If you're St. Mary's, you need to kick it into gear now.
Yeah, you can't wait another 6 minutes. You got to get going. We played 1:06 of the third quarter. The quarterback, Wilk, is rolling out, and this time it's going to go out of bounds. I should have said Wilk. It's actually Brendan Tabone. I hadn't flipped over my sheet. And that pass is going to be completed along the far sideline, and it's going to be close to first down yardage. I'll make it second down, and we'll call it 3. Orchard Lake St. Mary coming out of their huddle at the far hash mark. They're moving from their right to their left. They have played some tough games, one team from out of state, and this time staying out of his feet and with a little pop. And
Ryan Johnson, I believe.
It was Johnson, as you said. He was hit and felled by one of the linebackers. I think it might have been Evan Holland. Might have had an assist. It's second down and 3. Orchard Lake St. Mary on their own 27. They trail by 3 scores, 17-0. They have one player split out over to the near side. That's going to be Hamler. They have one more over to the far, 2 tight ends. This time it's going to be the running back, Myrick, and Myrick is stuffed for in the backfield, actually. In on the stop, Steven Killup. He makes it, and that's going to make it 3rd down and about 13 as he was stopped for a big loss in the backfield.
St. Mary's has had way too many plays where they're losing yardage and are going from considerable, 2nd and longs, 3rd and longs.
Split out over to the near side for Orchard Lake as Brendan looks like do Rivage. There's a player over to the far. The quarterback, Tabone's going for him over the middle. The pass is juggled. Nearly goes into the arms of a Warren player. Falls harmlessly to the red turf.
Just mistakes, compounding on mistakes. That was a good pass. Receiver should have brought it in and just kind of heard footsteps.
4th down for the Eagles. And they have gotten away, and they've had to get away from their running game because A, it's not working, and B, with you behind by 3 scores, you're not playing from a position of strength.
De La Salle has cooked up one pretty game plan. It's like a supermodel is how pretty of a game plan.
3rd down and 13. 1 wide receiver to the near side, running out of the pistol. 3 over to the far. Quarterback running on a fly, and the ball is
almost had him.
And that time it was Hamler again, and it was a 2-deep zone that broke that one up.
He was open, and Tabone just couldn't put it on the money. That's your best receiver, your best option downfield, and just couldn't connect.
And you're going to have to do plays like that more often. I always like the crossing route, trying to get a guy into a pick situation.
So now De La Salle's going to get the football back, and it looks like they'll have another short field, and could just add on to this lead and put St. Mary's into dig them into a bigger hole than they're already in.
And with the punt, it's going to be John Kay, and Kay will kick it up there to about the 35. The Pilots will walk away as it takes a Orchard Lake hop down to about the 24-yard line. The Eagles will down it there with 9:27 to go.
Good punt by John Kowinski. Made a little took a negative, which was that last drive, and turned it into a positive on that punt.
Yeah.
They don't have a short field.
Yeah,
they're going to be starting about the 25.
Yeah, the wind is blowing from our side, sideline right to sideline left, but it doesn't tilt to that side, and it also might have helped them on that kick, but it was still a beautiful boot.
Yep. You needed a play like that to, just give them some little bit of breathing room.
Roy Akers, Scott Bernstein at Orchard Lake St. Mary High School, 17-0. The Division III defending champions against Division II.
Same play again with Miles Charlie.
Yeah, this time the handoff is going to go to the wide side. Not a lot of running room. It looked like it was Tyler Cochran that brought the stop on the ball carrier, and that time it looked like it was Vinny Poloni, and Vinny got that. And I want to make sure I say Vinny's name.
I think it's
Billy
Pellioni.
Pellioni. There you go.
So if you're St. Mary's now, you just need to do again what you did on that first down play, which is just really bottle up, because they've had trouble wrapping up and bottling up this whole game.
They are in need of perhaps forcing a turnover to make a 3-score game too if they do something with it, but Warren De La Salle has been in control all the way. They do have a man in motion, and this time it's going to be a handoff up the gut. And on the slide, wow.
Another great play call by Verska, and Josh Wilk executes it perfectly.
Yep, and he slid that time. He actually slid about 5-6 yards and probably burned some tires.
That was a perfect pop-up slide. All you aspiring baseball players and base stealers should take a note from Josh Wilk on the football.
There you have it. Clock continuing to move with 8:35 to go in quarter number 3. It's a 17-0 Warren De La Salle.
I love when I hear guys like Josh Wilk and True Wilson are 4-point students in the classroom, the top of their class, not just athletically, but academically.
And out the near hash mark is Warren De La Salle with their 3-score lead. And this time another handoff. This time it'll go between the center and the right guard, between Hallman and Bresco. And on that carry, who got the carry on that one? It looked like it was Potter. Picks up a couple.
And the De La Salle fans are commenting how on that drive, True Wilson just stuck it to Josh Ross, the All-State linebacker, and blew him back a couple yards.
And with that, a 2nd down and 5 on their own, we'll call it 44-yard line with 7:47 to go in quarter number 3. De La Salle in their white with the purple trim in their uniform. I don't know, it's not purple. It's like a royal purple blue. It's like a metallic color. And on the handoff, it's going to be a short one. It looked like True Wilson on that one. Not a lot of running room on that. He picks up just a couple.
True Wilson comes from a military family, so it's not necessarily surprising that he's being recruited heavily by all the service academies. And, you know, it speaks to not just his athletic ability, but as I said before, his ability in the classroom to hold that 4-point and to, you know, be just as much of a killer in the classroom as he is on the football field.
And with kind of a short huddle coming out of it, Warren De La Salle, they have split out one player to the near, one to the far. They have running out of the pistol with a slot back right, Orchard Lake with a 4-man front. And this time the quarterback, Wilt going out of the flat and wide open. The big target picking it up. It's going to be a 1st down yardage and a whole lot more.
There's a fumble, and it looks like St. Mary's might have recovered it.
What a grab out of the flat by Drew Beasley. What's that?
St. Mary's might have recovered a fumble.
They did. Oh, they did it late. I'm looking at numbers on the field. Thank you very much, Scott. I'm looking at all the numbers. So what happened there?
Josh Ross forces the fumble and comes up with it. We were just talking about Josh Ross getting trucked on a running play. He had large ears. You heard Bernie over here talking about him, not in the most positive of light. He said, Bernie, let me see if I can do something to impress you. And he just makes a great play on the defensive side of the ball.
And Orchard Lake St. Mary got the first turnover of the game. They didn't get any containment on that play. That time the line of scrimmage was controlled by Warren De La Salle. There was absolutely no running room for the running back. And that's going to make it 2nd down, and we'll call it no gain with 6.5 to go.
They got to parlay this turnover into some points, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. They got to get something on the board.
Well, it's funny, when I was calling the pass out of the flat to turn into the fumble, I thought he was basically head of the turf. It was an innocent little play. Yeah. I had to flip over. De La Salle has like 70 players on the roster. I had to actually flip over to page 2. And this time out of the flat, the ball's going to be hauled in. And a beautiful juke move by Hamler. Hamler caught that ball on the 49-yard line of Warren. He tried to get a little juke move and was pushed back a few yards. And that's going to make it 3rd down.
Let me just say again, even though that last offensive series for De La Salle ended up in that turnover, that play that turnover resulted in was just another outstanding play call by Verska and his staff to get a guy up and get him in space. Wilk put it on the money, and they happened to fumble it and give St. Mary's a chance, but just another great play call.
And so Orchard Lake St. Mary right at midfield, 3rd down and 6, rolling out as their big quarterback.
And he's sacked.
And he's going to be sacked and hauled down for a big loss. And that's going to bring up a 4th down situation. And this time, Orchard Lake took no advantage of that fumble.
Man, De La Salle just did not let their guard down 1 inch. They made a little bit of a slip back with that fumble, but came back roaring with that last defensive stand.
It's 4th down, 16. 17-0 the game score. Lightly going after it was Warren, but the punt is off. And this time it takes a pilot's hop, and it will go out to about the 33, maybe 34-yard lines. So it's 3 turnovers for Orchard Lake, 1 for Warren De La Salle, but that time the Eagles...
Two for Warren De La Salle. They had a pick, too.
No, De La Salle's had 3 turnovers in this game.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I apologize. Yes. I don't know. I was thinking the other way around.
Well, what I'm saying is Orchard Lake St. Mary had 3 turnovers. Right. Warren's had just the 1.
Right.
So, and it's been part of the storyline. There's no doubt about that. But I'll take my points any way I can get them. Punt return, kick return, fumble return. Doesn't matter to me.
Thank God for Kuzinski, another good punt.
And with that, the Pilots are looking over at their sideline trying to get a late last-minute call. And now I think, now the officials have come out. I don't know what's going on the field.
Delay a game.
Yeah, delay a game for sure. Looked like Warren De La Salle, they were trying to get something, but there was some confusion. I don't know if there was going to be an audible, but with that, the flag's been picked up because I think that Warren's going to go ahead and just take a charge timeout. So while they take time out, we'll be back in just a few moments. The game score 17-0, Warren de La Salle over Orchard Lake St. Mary.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Avoiding a delay of game penalty, Warren de La Salle will have the penalty flag picked up. Once again, they had their first charge timeout. They have it 1st and 10 at their own 33. There are men played on either side with wide receivers single, and this time it's going to be a handoff. And Orchard Lake St. Mary totally won.
The dog, Dwayne Chapman, another good play on the defensive side of the ball for St. Mary's.
Yes, he sets off metal detectors everywhere with that great big fake gold chain, right?
Yeah. He's our own Metro Detroit's own version of the dog.
Yeah, there you go. Woof, woof. And with that, one of the few times Orchard Lake St. Mary has really got the push against Warren de La Salle.
Big reason for that up front for de La Salle is Jordan Asbury, Western Michigan commit, both sides of the ball getting pushed.
And now they have, look at this, 4 wide receivers to the near side. They got the quarterback looking. It's going to be underneath, bouncing off one player, but not a second. Was it Pellioni that makes that grab? I believe so, and that's going to make it, call it 3rd down and about 5. Nice conceived play. 4 wide receivers went out to the near side, all running around each other, creating a defensive mismatch.
Yep, and you got to try to take advantage of that if you're
3rd down and 5. St. Mary's have 4 players playing in the front. Looks like the play is still not off by the Pilots, and now it is. As they quickly come up to the line of scrimmage, they're going to play with a kind of a slot back right, and this time they got the quarterback looking, and this time on the carry, it's going to be Wilk. Wilk's got room, and Wilk will have 1st down yardage. He needed to get to the 45. Gets to the 43. That's going to be a pickup of about 9 yards for the quarterback, and they'll move the chains.
That's just, pure execution, and they're executing plays. St. Mary's isn't. I mean, this is what it's come down to today, unfortunately, if you're St. Mary's. But for De La Salle, everything's coming up roses because every play that you need to make, it looks like you're making it for the most part.
And so now Warren de La Salle working from our left to our right. They have the ball near the far hash mark, and this time it's going to be a deep handoff. No running room. As that time losing his footing, it looked to be True Wilson.
And Chapman, another good wrap-up. Just continuing that really strong end of the last year as a sophomore. Had a big pick at Ford Field in the state championship game, and just looks really good here tonight against De La Salle. Maybe the one of the only bright spots for St. Mary's.
2nd down. We're going to call it about 9, actually 10.5. We'll call it 11, I guess you could say. Warren de La Salle has the ball on their own 43. St. Mary's is showing basically 9 men in the box.
It's illegal motion, I believe.
Yep. And that'll push them back. Didn't see anybody for St. Mary's go over. Clock temporarily stopped on the field with 2:10 to play in this.
Something else to keep an eye out for, or just keep in the back of your mind. If De La Salle ends up pulling this victory out, it will be Paul Verska, the head coach's first win on the road at St. Mary's in his career.
And how long does this go back to?
Over a decade. I mean, Paul Verska's been there a long time.
Wow.
He's never won on this field.
And, you know, real nice guy. He came up to me and gave me their starters. I usually have to go fish them up, hunt people
Oh, man,
down.
he's the best. Paul Verska is the best. You want to talk about a people person. He is a people person.
Real class dude. Hopefully we'll talk to him down the road.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed talking to people from both schools, but I have never met him before, so we're bringing
he's
that
great.
point
He's
up.
what football's all about.
And now out of the shotgun, snapping it down, getting it. It's going to be on the keeper. It's going to be Josh Wilk, and Wilk has all kinds of yardage. And Wilk will only get back to the initial line of scrimmage, perhaps gaining 3 on top of that, and gets about 9 yards. But he needed 16, so he's going to be well short with the clock stopped on the field as he stepped out of bounds. We have 1:45 to go in this quarter. Quarter number 3, 17-0, Warren de La Salle. And I don't know if you call it an upset or not. I mean, some people would, but when you're a defending state champion, you go on the road.
I mean, I guess technically, technically it would be an upset, but you know, I don't think anyone would have been shocked if you told me De La Salle will pull off the upset. That said, I'd be shocked if they pulled a shutout, which it looks like they're doing right now.
And with that, out of the shotgun, it's going to be Wilk, and Wilk is going to go. He's still on his feet looking for room. He's going to have it on the keeper. Players are just kind of rumbling and stumbling over at midfield, getting pushed on each other, and at midfield,
I think
it's going to be 4th down and 6. What's that, Scott?
You know, like I said before, I don't think if you would have told people before the game that De La Salle would pull out the victory, I don't think that would be so surprising. What's really surprising is we're sitting here, 1:35 to go in the 3rd quarter, and it's just been domination central for De La Salle from opening kickoff to where we are right now. They're up 17-0, and they're spinning the shutout, looking just mighty, mighty fine in the process.
Punting situation for Warren de La Salle, and this one is off. It's done by Plawinski, and this time it will be a fair catch on around the 23-yard line.
2 good kickers in this game.
Yep, they sure do, as Hamler will catch that one, and it'll give the Eagles a decent field position. Well, there needs some instant points as Orchard Lake. Is there any way they can do it besides turnovers or dominating in the line of scrimmage, which they haven't done so far?
Need a quick touchdown or some type of points on the board, and then they're probably going to need the benefit of a big defensive play, a turnover, like you said. I mean, 17 points isn't insurmountable, but the way they're playing right now, they just don't have any momentum, they're just very.
Orchard Lake St. Mary, they have 4 wide receivers, all on the same side, one acting as a slot back. That ball is going to be thrown out of the flat. It will be caught. Nearly stepping through the lasso that time is Ryan Johnson. Johnson gets a decent game, and he's going to be tackled this time by True Wilson.
I think the adjective I was looking for that I couldn't get out of my mouth a couple seconds ago is they just look. The offense looks very sluggish.
Yeah, it's almost like. It's like they forgot a chain on their bicycle.
This is a well-oiled machine, like a fine automobile, and it's not running as such.
In Orchard Lake St. Mary, running out of the shotgun with a slot back right, 3 wide outs. This time they got the big quarterback looking for him, and this time the pass is over the middle. It's caught, but it's not a catch. I thought it was incomplete, wasn't it?
It was incomplete.
It was incomplete, and with that, so Brendan Tabone wasn't able to move his club on that particular play. It's 3rd down and 9.
I keep on commending this De La Salle coaching staff, but just, again, in addition to their play calling, just outstanding scouting. They seem to know what Orchard Lake St. Mary's is going to do before they do it. Another tribute to Coach Verska and his staff.
In Orchard Lake on this big 3rd down and 9, they need to move the chains. Time is becoming a factor. Rolling out as a quarterback to Bone, and this time to Bone has the pass broken up.
No, he didn't.
It's incomplete, and the Warren fans are going crazy. The Orchard Lake fans are like going, what in the world is going on here?
2 straight in the direction of Tyler Cochran, and also, as you said, 2 straight 3 and outs for the St. Mary's offense.
St. Mary's will be in a punting situation.
St. Mary's just is having trouble getting out of their own way right now.
Yeah, they've only, how many times did they cross midfield this game?
Maybe once.
Maybe once, I think, happening in the first half. Very surprising. I was expecting this just to be a rock'em sock'em game, back and forth,
nip and tuck.
punching each other, you know what I mean, football-wise, with a lot of big hits.
You would have told me we'd be sitting here 17-0 heading into the 4th quarter. I would have said Orchard Lake St. Mary's on top.
No.
Not De La Salle's on top.
And what a beautiful punt by Orchard Lake, and a equally smart fair catch by True Wilson. who
St.
makes
Mary's.
a fine play, and it's at the own 38 is where the Pilots will start with the football with 32.3 seconds to go.
St. Mary's, your
Third
only two
quarter.
bright spots in this game have really been your punter kicker, John Kwasinski, who's just really brought you out of some tough yardage situations, and then Dwayne Chapman on defense. Other
But
than
you
that,
just answered a question without even realizing it. When your best player on your team is your punter,
it's not a good.
that's not a good sign. It's like you call a girl on the telephone and you say she had me and get lost. All right. And so with the football, 1st and 10 at their own 38, the Pilots with the ball. And this time it's going to be a run right up the middle, avoiding one player. Now second, stepping, making a juke, going to the outside, and finally being forced out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. A huge play. Like 53 yards. And the quarterback that time, Josh Wilk, gains that yardage, naked bootleg. That time they owned that line. He sprang it, and he was all in the open.
Another outstanding play call, outstanding execution. One team is playing like, with their ears pinned back, with nothing to lose, playing loose. And another team, specifically St. Mary's, playing tight, playing, just not playing the kind of football they need to play at home on homecoming.
And Warren will chew up their last play or two of this quarter by running with the football, and on the cutback, no room. That time Orchard Lake hit the wall, and that will take us to the end of the third quarter. Clock continues to spin down. We will have our final 12 minutes. A stunner in Orchard Lake. The Eagles trail 17-0 to a cheering Warren de La Salle crowd. We'll have that final 12 minutes for you. And with that, Warren on their first play, they're going to run to the outside. It looks like once again it's
that was
going
Josh
to be
Wilk.
Yeah, it's him on a keeper again, being Wilk. Not a lot of running room. The officials have temporarily stopped the clock. I'm not sure what for. They didn't get a first down. It's 3rd down and 6.
This is a big stop for St. Mary's.
At this point in time, the best friend of Warren de La Salle
clock.
is a moving clock.
I know. St. Mary's needs to get a stop here and force them to either kick a field goal or
Orchard Lake
go
St.
for it.
Mary's, they are in need of some instant points. Turnovers, big play.
You know, if they miss it here, I wouldn't be shocked if they go for it on 4th down.
No, well, there's nothing against
Nothing to
them
lose.
for doing that, being 17-0. And this time he got Wilk again, and Wilk is going to cut back. He's got to step through the lasso, power over one player, make it 2 players, and he's down to inside the 5-yard line. Wilk that time the quarterback was doing, he was the punisher.
I mean, I love the play call.
He went right, said, I don't see nothing.
I mean,
went
just
left and going boom, boom. And
just mixing it up, making St. Mary's guess every snap. Again, executing. Just a perfectly orchestrated game plan so far by the Pilots.
And with this 4th down and 1, Scott, your Nostra Bernstein tonight, and they are going to go for it. They got one player, a deep tailback, 2 tight ends, and they're just simply going to push the pile, student body left, and we have a measurement, but by all indications, the Pilots will have it 1st and goal inside the 2, and the officials have said first down. Clock temporarily stopped on the field. Following that first down, 10:27, and now it's rolling once again. Other big games going on in Oakland County tonight. The game of the week, West Bloomfield playing in Lake Orion tonight. And other than Keith not having to drive very far, it's a surprise. And a handoff will go into the end zone for a touchdown. The Pilots have extended their lead to 23.
I believe that was that Wilcom, the keeper?
I believe so. That the quarterback, he has got to be one of the top players in Oakland County. I'm sure you'll be reporting that back to Jeff Keith and the boys. You know, I don't know. Keith was going to do the game this week. I'm really glad you're here. Everybody figured this was going to be the voted on game.
Game of the week, and it ended up being Lake Orion and West Bloomfield over at WB.
And so the 2 top games in Oakland County are about, maybe 2 to 3 miles apart, and they're both happening
just up and down Orchard Lake Road.
Right off Orchard Lake Road. And so the extra point was good just seconds ago. Game score,
and
24
just a quick
0.
update from that game. West Bloomfield putting the hurt on Lake Orion, not surprising, 27-0 going into the 4th.
And that's the beauty of cell phones. We will actually get some of those. And Scott, I'm sure you'll send us some stats from those games. Lenny will send us some from Orchard Lake St. Mary for their side. And I'm sure Warren will do the same early next week when they get back in class. And I love this. They got like a guy older than my grandfather leading the cheers. And you got to love that because usually it's the kids leading it. But in this case, it's the alumni. And so you like to see things. You know how it is. Well, you've written books on the mafia in Detroit, Scott. When dog bites man, you sit home as a reporter. It's when man bites dog. And he is. It's kind of cute to see that. You got anything good coming out of your latest book? I know that you always got something going on with the Detroit Mafia.
I've published 4 books, 1 ebook, and the next thing I'm about to start embarking on is the White Boy Rick autobiography. There's been a lot of local news around here. He's been in prison for 30 years. Looks like he'll eventually be resentenced and let out very soon. And with that, the kickoff is deep, and that will send Orchard Lake Hamler out of it, and Hamler is going to come out of his own 10 to the 15, although now to the 20, and he will be put down there with 2 ticks over 10 minutes to play in quarter number 4. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Wanted to publicize that a little bit. Yeah, you've I like your reads because I like hearing about the Old Purple Gang, and I like hearing about people that know me around here. They either know me as the prep sports guy, the college recruiting guy, or the mob guy talking about that darker stuff.
And I guess I could talk to you about any of those. I find them all interesting.
I love them both.
And so with that, it's going to be a handoff straight up the middle, and Orchard Lake St. Mary, they are not going to deviate from that ground game, trailing by 4 scores.
To say it's an uphill battle would be a vast understatement. Hopefully St. Mary's can just do something to give them something positive to talk about,
And we do have a flag on the field. The pass is going to be bounced off a couple of players. It's picked up by Warren, but let's see what the flag says. And that play was crazy.
Let's see if it stands.
Yeah, and that's the big key.
Reggie Irby, second pick of the game if it stands.
Yeah, and Irby, that time playing center field, I'll tell you what, he's better catching those deflections than my dog is at Frisbees. He is really something.
He could be starting center fielder for the Tigers.
And right now, they may be looking for one.
Yeah, it looks like The interception
And
will stand.
Indeed, it's a turnover, the fourth one of the game. Irby got the int, and Warren de La Salle will have the football, 1st and 10 at their own 49 with 9:36 to go in this game. I have to say I'm absolutely shocked.
I'm really, I echo similar sentiments. We're sitting here 24-0 in the fourth quarter. De La Salle has the ball.
And they're going to run it, and there's a hole and more. And that time putting the shoulder pads down is a great big running back. I don't know if it was Adams or
Now
Allen.
a little extracurriculars. Keep your tempers in check.
Yeah. Looks to me like somebody might have broke out of your mama joke, but I'm just kidding. I don't
There's a lot of
think that
frustration
would
on the field, I'm sure, on the St. Mary's side of the ball. I'm sure us up here in the press box aren't the only ones that are really shocked by the 24-0 score. I'm sure the sideline over at St. Mary's isn't too happy about it either.
Warren de La Salle will continue to work with a ball that we now see on the clock. Less than 9 minutes to go as a fan. De La Salle has everybody in tight. This time it's going to go. Big hole once again. And it looks like might have been Brandon Adams with that carry. And that's going to be a big gainer and another first down. Our clock will temporarily stop as the ball is spotted.
De La Salle is just going to bleed this thing down as
well, that's
far
the way
as
to
they
do
can.
it. You know, it's like sometimes in a fight you say you want a quick knockout. Well, if you really hate I'm not saying you hate them. You want to hit them, but you don't want them to get knocked out. You just want to keep giving them a beating.
Well, yeah, that's definitely what's been happening here on the red field. This has just been Mike Tyson versus all of his early opponents. If you're De La Salle beating up on
everybody's in tight, but one wide out, and the tailback, of course, who has a lot of running room. And
they're getting such a push on the line.
Yardage before a couple of Orchard Lake players are in on the stop.
It just cannot be
Ralph Holly.
Just cannot be overstated. I know it's a cliche in football, but if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the point of attack, 9 times out of 10 you're going to win the football game, and that's what's happening here. De La Salle is just dominating at that point of attack.
Austin Potter with the last carry. 2nd down, and make that first. Well, actually, I'm trying to see what they're doing with this spot. The ball is, they have moved the chain, or not moved them, but they're taking a measure.
Look at it.
I'm really trying to say.
They're going to measure it.
The clock does stop on the field. I have to thank everybody who's come out to tonight's ball game. Scott, you got the broadcast on the network for the Oakland Press. I was supposed to do like the Macomb games, but they never got those
back
going.
in the day, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, now we're here with Waterford Media and.
Well, we've got a couple. I tell you what, stick with us because we got some major.
Oh,
cool
I love this stuff,
happening.
man. This is the best time of the year. Best thing that I get paid for this. I feel like I'm stealing money when I get out here covering these kind of kids, these kind of games. It's so much fun.
Well, it's nice when you bring the passion and energy that you do to the broadcast, because you can tell that Night of Matlock would not suit your taste. And so the Pilots, 2nd down and less than a yard. They have it. Everybody in tight for Orchard Lake. It's a student body push, and I have to believe that the linemen got out there just far enough to move that chain, as it looked like it might have been Hallman, Bresco and company, and it is indeed a Pilot first down.
I'll tell you, for me, it's just all about relationships that I build with these kids and these teams and these programs, and especially here in the Catholic League. For a Jewish boy like myself to be treated so well by all of these Catholic League schools have welcomed me in like one of their own these last decade, and I have such a fond spot in my heart for these guys.
And up the near hash mark of the Pilots, 1st and 10 on the St. Mary 21. It's going to be a wraparound handoff, sidestep. Getting a little bit of running room is True Wilson. And once again, it looks like players are kind of chipping at each other just a little bit. Look like in on the stop, a couple of players, including Josh Ross.
This is just like, I know I'm sitting here, we're halfway through the fourth quarter. This game is obviously it's going to end up most likely with a De La Salle victory, but I'm just shocked by the chasm between these two teams right now, the margin of victory, the level of play that, one team is just playing so well, another team is playing not very well, and I'm surprised at who the team playing well and who the team is not playing very well are.
Taking a look, depending on who wins in this game, there's just going to be a shuffle in the standings, but these two teams could play in the Catholic League playoffs. True Wilson goes right, cuts back left, back into his own lineman. Behind it looks like Morgan Matoyer, and he's picked up about 3 yards, maybe 4, depending on the spot.
You would have
just
told me
a few ticks over 6 minutes to play in this game.
You would have told me before the game we'd be sitting here 24-0 halfway through the fourth quarter, and I had to bet on it. I mean, I wouldn't even have blinked putting down $1 million on St. Mary's.
Well, I'll tell you, George Port's probably going to have something to say to me. I had no idea that Warren De La Salle wore purple, and look what I got on.
You broke out the purple T-shirt,
so
or
I think
purple
that's
polo.
why I got the Vulcan death grip tonight, because I had no idea. I was just trying to wear a clean shirt, you know. And with that, everybody's in tight with a man split out to the far side, and looks like we have a timeout called on the field, and I believe this one's going to go against Orchard Lake St. Mary.
Great night for De La Salle, but let's also bring up the fact that they're playing without, shall I say, arguably their best player in Alan Stritzinger. So not only are they up 24-0, possibly about to go up 31-0 if they can punch this in, they've done it all without their best player.
Recruiting front, what are you hearing out there? Any rumors you want to spread?
I heard Alan Stritzinger could be very close to getting that Michigan State offer. I hear True Wilson, again, the all-everything, defensive back, running back, kick returner here for De La Salle, could be committing soon to one of these service academies possibly. Josh Ross over on the other side of the ball has got his pick of a lot of power programs coming after him. KJ Hamler, another one of these kids that got a ton of major offers before he even played his first varsity game, had a Michigan State offer before he stepped field on the varsity for
And
St.
then they
Mary's.
had the vagabond player that ended up over at Ann Arbor Skyline.
Oh, yeah, Dalen Hayes was originally here. Some people consider him the #1 prospect in the state. Started at St. Mary's and has been at about 3 schools since then.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Port about that the other day, but he's happy over there and turning the corner. Once again, it looks like the Truester, True Wilson, is going to pick up some big yardage, and he'll get it. Is that True, or is that somebody else?
I thought that was True Wilson.
I thought it was too. He still hasn't turned his back, so we can tell. And it was Wilson. He got the corner, but not a lot more, as the cornerbacks kind of caught up with him from Orchard Lake St. Mary, including Kofi Bashir and Dwayne the Dog Chapman.
Yep. In terms of other college recruits on the field right now, like I said, Jordan Asbury, lineman for De La Salle, is going to Western Michigan. Eric Rogers, captain, linebacker, he's hurt. He's out for the season, but he's going to Central Michigan.
Up over center, there's just one wide out, 3 tight ends, a running back, and this time picking his hole, True Wilson. Wilson that time might have ran behind it looked like Tom Evans, and who kind of sprung him for about 3 yards. And that's going to make it 2nd down and goal from the 1. Clock continues to move, Scott. 2nd and goal, 4:37. We have destination final score coming up. We will not have much of a post-game show tonight. We're getting all kind of wireless equipment, all this cool stuff, and we're going to do that. I guarantee Orchard Lake's going to hit the locker room, but Warren might want to talk. But I know you got to get your Oakland Press stuff in on your deadline tonight. So, and this time I'm picking the hole. It's going to be a touchdown. True Wilson is the real deal. 30-0, pending the extra point coming up, as the Warren De La Salle flagman and pilot is going to run end-to-end, and he's shirtless. No, he's not. He has a little Steve Prefontaine jersey on there.
Yeah. That's dating us back there.
That's taking us back. Remember that?
Prefontaine, man.
Yeah. I never did see that movie.
Running, there's 2 movies. This guy was so important to the world of running. There was 2 movies about him.
And I hear he was really quite a character. That's why he had 2 movies done on him. But he's running back and forth, and the team in purple and gold. The closest colors, if you follow the NFL, I guess would be the Minnesota Vikings. And with just 4:12 to go, following that PAT, I didn't mind talking over it. It's not really going to affect the outcome of this game. It's still technically a 4-score game, but with you needing, you'd have to have 32 to 31, but with 4:12 to go, you're going to need, it's going to almost have to be a PlayStation result. Boom, boom, boom,
and there's
boom.
been no indication that
No.
on this night, that St. Mary's can put together really any inkling of offense, let alone a 32.4 minutes.
Well, this has almost been like a walkthrough for Orchard Lake. It's like the game doesn't start till tomorrow because they really haven't.
Yeah, for a team that's ranked #1 in the state by several outlets and is playing on a homecoming game in their own house, it's just been like I said, a sluggish effort.
You couldn't ask for nicer people, like you said. Orchard Lake St. Mary has been just absolutely very hospitable to us and real nice people. As the kick will be bounced off the turf and will take a nice hop into the arms of Hamler. And Hamler's still on his feet over the 20 to the 25. The interior on the defensive front will bring him down on the kick return team. St. Mary's will have the ball 1st and 10 on their own 26.
Watch the deep ball!
St. Mary's comes out of their huddle. They're in the red and black on this beautiful field. They got it about 3 years ago, did a ton of fundraising, and it is a dandy. And now the quarterback, he'll throw the ball out of the flat. Pass is complete to Dabney. Dabney doesn't get a lot of room as there are 3 players in on the stop, including Killup, Pascas, and there's another player in there as well. Where do you think St. Mary's will fall in the standings? Out of the top 10? I can't believe that.
Out of the top 10, but
they'll probably be 6, 7, something like that.
I'm going to probably push them down to 5 or 6 right now.
Depending on the results of the other games happening tonight.
Just not a good loss. There's good losses, and then there's this.
And so, a nice running play, one of the better efforts tonight for Orchard Lake St. Mary.
I'm getting a
Looks
stat.
like Allen.
I'm getting a stat on my text right now that's almost unbelievable from another game down the road. In Berkeley, one of their receivers, Nolan Given, has 200 yards in 1 quarter receiving.
Receiving. That's at least 2 bombs plus.
That's ridiculous.
That's a pass out of the flat. It falls incomplete. Hamler was the intended target. As Tabone delivered that, and I don't know if that was his best pass right there because he threw it into a couple of players that were ready to put the lumber on him.
Tabone's a much better quarterback than you've seen here tonight. He's had trouble finding a rhythm. The whole offense has, the whole defense has, frankly. And I think it's just, tomorrow's a new day.
With the clock stopped on the field following that incomplete pass, Orchard Lake St. Mary is going to run the run and shoot offense. This time they have Tabone looking downfield, and the ball is going to be overthrown. The intended target that time was Clay. I'm trying to read his name, but it's Antishin, and that ball is going to fall incomplete. There were 2 different players, DBs, that were in on that stop to make sure he couldn't catch up to that football. Nice coverage by the Pilots.
Wall Lake Western is on top of Waterford Mott, 24-21. End of the 3rd quarter.
What quarter?
End of the 3rd, 24-21.
Wow, that's a ball game that if we hadn't done this game, we would have been there tonight. Now we were trying to get a second crew, but we're not quite there yet. Eventually, we're going to have 2 crews do these games.
You got to walk before you run.
There's going to be a pass over the middle. It will be 1st down yardage. It's called garbage time is the intended target. That time was Ryan Johnson. We'll catch a little slant pattern over the middle. And with clock will now roll with 3.5 to go. And this time the quarterback will throw it out of the flat. It's going to be complete. And now Tabone, they're letting him have everything, and just as long as he takes time off the clock. Clock continues to roll after that 7-yard completion. Orchard Lake St. Mary out of the near side. They are trailing by 31, and it's a shockaroo.
Again, it's not so much that De La Salle's going to win this football game that's the shock to me. It's the lopsided score.
Well, it's a shutout. I mean, with this power ground game, I was thinking that this, Orchard Lake was going to be the 72 Dolphins with kick.
De La Salle's playing without Strissinger.
And out of the flat, it's going to be hauled in by Orchard Lake. They might get on the board. Almost stepping through a hog-tie tackle is great big Hamler. Hamler brought down by Ricardo Marble, or else he would have scored.
That catch there shows you why so many colleges love KJ Hamlin.
He's showing it. Garbage time is smelling good as Orchard Lake is moving the football as Warren De La Salle is in the prevent defense. And you know what the old adage is, to prevent defense does
nothing.
what? It prevents nothing. It prevents you from winning.
My dad taught me that at a very young age.
But when you're up by 31, it doesn't prevent, I don't think it's going to change it.
I know, but I used to watch Lions games with my dad, and they go into that prevent defense.
But I would sit as a 10-year-old kid, and the Lions would give up a late shutout, and I'd be so mad going, you should have got it. And they're like, we won the game. And so that's what
talking
happens.
about back in the Alex Karras years.
Well, I'm not that old. I mean, he was on Webster, you know. I mean, that was, but I do remember him. And, yeah, I do remember Alex Karras, who's no longer with us.
Yes. He was a
We've
great
lost
Detroit,
a lot of people this year
great
in sports.
Detroit Lion.
He was, and he was a Hall of Famer,
Hall
I
of
believe.
Famer.
Great football player.
Great actor.
And, yeah, well, I don't know about that. Barney Rubble was a better actor, but this time the handoff will go straight up the middle, and Orchard Lake St. Mary is room for the touchdown.
Rashawn Allen, I believe.
Yep, Allen with the score. Orchard Lake is on the board, and their fans have proven to have hands as they just clap for that one. 31-6, and they will go for the extra point. I don't know why. They got to have two.
They said that was Troy Marks on the PA. So I'm not sure if that was Marks or Allen. Thought it was 26.
Well, we will find out. I don't know if we'll get it until we actually look at the tape as we edit and post this weekend. Orchard Lake St. Mary will go for two with 2:51 to go. And this time the handoff. No, it's going to be a fake. It's going to be the quarterback. It's Tabone. He goes for the end zone. Wide open. 2-point conversion is hauled in. And it looks like it was Griffith Sharpash. There you go. That's one thing I got to tell you, Scott. I need a binoculars and a pair of glasses at work. I am not the guy I was when I was 20 and could read any number from any part. Street signs from across the side. Right now, I cannot read the numbers on the guy's jersey out in front of me sitting here.
Well, at least that's a drive that hopefully you can build on if you're St. Mary's. You know, looking at the tape and saying, hey, at least we ended on a positive note, because most of this game has been pretty negative for the St. Mary's Eaglets.
Well, I'll bet you $100 that they go for the onside kick. Will you take that bet?
I wouldn't.
I would not take that bet because you know it's coming. And so Orchard Lake St. Mary. Now, the best kicks that work for the onside kicks typically is when you kick the top of the football and
the
get
bouncers.
Them. Yeah, I don't like them when they try to kick them in the air and then have a linebacker try to knock the snot out of a guy. Those typically don't work.
If they somehow do get this onside kick, they're going to have another 3 successful ones.
Well, we won't be going home till 11:30 tonight because they're going to.
3 successful ones if they want to come out victorious.
And there you see it, and he did kick the bottom of the football. It was fielded by Warren. A short little jaunt will give them the football at their own 47, and they will try to mop up the last 2:18 of this contest. Well, they did it. They did kick the football on the top half, as they should have. And with that, we're going to find our final 138 seconds of this game. We're going to have it for you in just a few moments.
This is the play that we're going to run. Alex, this is what I need you to do. You're going to inbounce the ball.
Hey, you okay? That was a pretty hard foul. I think you might have a concussion.
Do you remember anything?
If you passed out, we need to get you looked at by a doctor.
If you don't feel right, you gotta tell somebody.
I'm your mother. You mean too much to me to take a chance like this.
It's okay. Don't worry. We've got your back.
Let's go. The ball's coming to you. Ready to get back in there?
A concussion is a serious brain injury. Know how to recognize concussion symptoms, report a concussion to your coach and parents, and take time to rest. Safe Kids is helping to educate students about concussion safety. Make the right choice. Join the team and pledge to keep concussions on the sideline.
And with it, the Pilots, they'll run out of the shotgun, and this time the handoff will go to the first man through. I couldn't tell. It looked like it might have been Myrick. No, it couldn't be Myrick. That's for Orchard Lake St. Mary. I'm looking at the wrong sheet. Could have been True Wilson. He's number 3 for the Pilots. It's the last man to get up from this pile.
So if what I'm hearing is true, this will be Paul Verska's first victory on the road at St. Mary's. And, you know, we're just breaking ground every which way with Coach Verska. Last year won his first state championship at De La Salle, and in 2015, it looks like he's going to get his first win here on the red turf.
Pilots come over to the sidelines following that first down, or that timeout is what I really meant to say, with 2:12 to go in this contest. They are leading 31-8.
And let's just take some more time to sing the praises of the two coaches, Paul Verska and George Porrett, two just beacons of everything that's right about football in the state of Michigan, football, high school football in general, and the Catholic League. And they're two guys that obviously they do excellent jobs, but they do them in kind of different ways. Paul Verska is a very demonstrative, very vocal. George is a GP, George Porter, a little bit more close to the vest, a little quieter. But,
yeah, and there's always something going on in that mind of his. You can always tell.
Either way, man, they both get the job done, so that's all that matters.
Well, one of the things, when you know you're dealing with a pro as an athletic director who also serves as a coach, he reminds me of Gil Thorpe back in the old comic strip days. I'll go through this thought in just a moment, as once again it's going to be a handoff, kind of a sprint draw, and nearly springing himself loose after busting a tackle.
That was Vinny Pellioni.
Yep, Vinny Pellioni has it. But you take a look at Orchard Lake St. Mary and with Coach Port, he's always got something spinning in his head. He's always multitasking in his thought process.
Been here since I was a little kid. It's been here since the 1980s, and it's been the basketball coach, the lacrosse coach.
And he just retired from basketball.
Just stepped down as the head of the basketball program, turned it over to his top assistant, Todd Covert, and like we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, so George has won 5 state championships with the pigskin. He's won 1 on the basketball floor with Maurice Seawright back in 99.
Yeah,
I believe, and then it was 99 or 2000 in the basketball one, and then lacrosse won 97 and 98.
Yeah, I'd like to do a basketball game here. I think that they're playing Clarkston at home this year.
Yeah, they always open. I think they always open with Clarkston.
And I'd love to do that game. He and Dan Fife are great friends, and as you know, George Port lives in Clarkston.
Yeah, and his brother is a coordinator for KR over at Clarkston for football.
Wow.
Rich Port.
And when I told him this game would air in Clarkston, George says, that is very exciting. And I didn't really need that to close the deal, but that did bring a smile to his face. I don't think this game will, but the fact that we have this relationship just might.
And even though, go ahead.
Well, it's just a handoff. It's just trying to kill up some time. Looked like the player on that carry might have been Potter.
We just mentioned Dan Fife over at Clarkston, the athletic director, the basketball coach. He was quite a football player in his day. All-state quarterback in the late 60s.
Well, he played for U of M, the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, and then he played baseball and basketball at University of Michigan, played pro with the Twins and the Tigers. But he was a really good quarterback, just like his 2 sons, Dugan and Dane.
Absolutely. And with that, Warren De La Salle with the clock rolling, and he went to the knee, but did he fall, or did he just go to the knee to wrap up this last?
It might have been like a quasi-victory formation.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the true one. You know, the one where you just get your knee down real quick? It looked like he lost his balance. You know, the last time I walked down one of all the schools have this, the busted up rubber tire fields now. And last week, I went home from Northern. I had so many. I had so many of those pellets in my shoes that my mom thought I had mice in my car. Yeah, she's like, "What is going on with this?"
Shoelace.
Yeah, but it's a good way in with the drainage, and it feels like good. And the artificial turf was killing everybody. With these fields, it helps to prevent injuries. The Pilots with just 50 seconds to go. Now they're kneeling on it and handing it back to the ref, and they will have to run one more play. And their fans love it, and they're standing up for their conquering heroes. Warren de La Salle, they will move now to 3-1 on, make that 4-1 on the season. And then Orchard Lake St. Mary, they'll fall to 4-1. Scott, he's got to take off. He's got reporter duties. We hope to have you back
Thanks
sometime.
a lot. I love it. Love Waterford Media. I look forward to working with you guys in the future.
Well, we love it. Thanks a lot. Hey, Scott, take care. Hey, I'll be listening to you on State Champs tonight.
Yeah, State Champs every Friday night. We talk football 10 to 11 on 105.1. Me, Tom Markowski, and Lauren Plant. We break down everything that's going around in the state.
And I can hardly wait. And so with that, that's it. That'll do it. Both sides will come out to the center of the field. So Scott has now left us. We would ordinarily have a post-game show, but we are not going to do that tonight. We hope to have a feature story that we'll have for you before the next Orchard Lake St. Mary game with Coach Porritt. But for everybody, I can't even mention all the names. We have like a dozen people helping us tonight. Orchard Lake St. Mary, they've graciously taken us in. We want to thank all our students that are helping us out. We want to thank all of our Specs Howard people for coming out. They send us nothing but quality people, and they end up getting jobs. It's just magical how those kids end up. I don't know that we have anything to do with it, but a lot of them have. And we want to thank them. We want to thank everybody at Media Network. We want to thank our community people, such as Christine Cheney and others. Also, Brad Shaw, who snapped a gazillion pictures. You'll see those in the photo albums. And for myself, Roy J. Akers, Josh Bowen, Whitney Hunt, and I hate mentioning names because I always leave one or two out. Oh, Johanna, she lives in West Bloomfield, and I gotta believe that she's totally excited about being at Orchard Lake St. Mary because she just lives around the corner, and so we thank her for coming out as well. For everybody at Media Network, our game score final 31-8. Warren de La Salle, the state champions, the defending champions in Division III, have had a colossal upset at Orchard Lake St. Mary against I got it mixed up. De La Salle's the Division II champs. Orchard Lake St. Mary is the Division III champs. With that, we'll see you next week. We'll be right at this field. Orchard Lake St. Mary will be hosting Brother Rice. Good night, everyone.